Hello, friends. Today we are making a comforting, creamy chicken dish with fluffy mashed potatoes. Stay tuned for a neat sauce trick. Let's pour some olive oil into our warm skillet. Now drop in a nice piece of butter and let it melt evenly. Blending oil with butter is a great trick to prevent it from burning. Let's take about 14 ounces of fresh chicken breast. We need to carefully pat the poultry completely dry using a paper towel. Removing that extra surface moisture ensures the meat will get a gorgeous brown sear immediately, instead of just steaming sadly in the pan. Now we are going to cut our chicken breast into nice, even cubes and add them directly to the warm skillet. Cutting them uniformly guarantees that every single piece will cook at the exact same rate. This simple dish always reminds me of cozy weekend evenings when my children were still very small. We would gather around the table to enjoy a hearty homemade meal after a long week. Cooking something warm and filling like this is my favorite way to show my family some love. Let's softly sprinkle our meat with some pure pink Himalayan salt. This enhances the deep, savory flavor and perfectly helps to form that appetizing crust. Next, we will carefully grind fresh black peppercorns right into the warm pan. Grab your handy silicone spatula and spread the chicken cubes out very evenly. Then, cover the pan with a mesh splatter screen. We will let the meat fry nicely for 10 full minutes on this side. By the way, I would absolutely love to know, what state or city are you tuning in from today? Drop a comment down below. I love reading them. Meanwhile, let's place a medium pot on the stove and pour in some fresh water. We will need to boil our potatoes for the mash very soon. Add a generous pinch of pink Himalayan salt to the water and gently stir it with your silicone spatula. Salting the water early is a fundamental culinary rule that ensures the potatoes absorb the seasoning perfectly right from the very beginning. Now grab 6 potatoes and slice them into medium chunks. Potatoes are a wonderful source of potassium, providing great energy for a busy day. Buying a large bag of potatoes is a smart way to stretch your weekly grocery budget. They store wonderfully in a cool, dark cabinet for many weeks, staying fresh and ready for comforting side dishes just like this one. Carefully drop those sliced potatoes straight into the hot pot. Give them a very gentle stir with your trusty silicone spatula and tightly cover with a lid. We will boil them nicely for about 20 minutes until they are perfectly soft. It has been exactly 10 minutes. Let's remove the mesh screen and use kitchen tongs to carefully flip every single piece of chicken. Look at that gorgeous, deep, golden crust we have developed. It smells incredibly delicious in here. Let's sprinkle half a teaspoon of dried rosemary over the chicken, then cover it again with the screen. It adds a lovely scent. Let's remove the mesh screen again. Use your kitchen tongs to carefully take the beautifully browned chicken out of the warm pan. We will set it aside on a plate for now, but we are keeping all those rich meat juices right there in the skillet. While the chicken rests, let's chop a fresh onion into medium cubes. Onions provide the perfect sweet base for any thick home-style gravy. If you happen to buy too many onions, you can easily chop them up in advance and freeze them in small bags. This is a very smart trick that saves so much precious time when preparing your weeknight family dinners. The classic aroma of slicing an onion always reminds me that a truly comforting, savory meal is just around the corner. I love cooking. Toss those freshly diced onions straight into the hot skillet, right into those wonderful leftover chicken drippings. Stir them around very gently with your silicone spatula. The natural moisture from the onions helps beautifully lift all those extremely tasty brown bits off the bottom. Now let's carefully chop up some fresh celery stalks. Many home cooks tend to overlook celery, but it truly gives the sauce a deep flavor base that is difficult to achieve otherwise. Remember, never throw the leafy tops or ends into the trash bin. You can freeze them to use in homemade broths later. Adding celery brings a refreshing, subtle earthiness to our vegetable base that balances out the heavy cream perfectly. Add the freshly chopped celery right into the warm skillet and mix it nicely using your silicone spatula. Our savory vegetable foundation is slowly becoming more diverse and wonderfully fragrant as it gently cooks. Next, we are going to slice some fresh mushrooms into small cubes. Mushrooms are a simply brilliant addition to stews. They act just like tiny sponges, immediately soaking up all the rich butter and vegetable juices from the pan. Just wipe them clean with a damp towel instead of washing, so they stay perfectly firm. Drop those freshly cubed mushrooms into the warm skillet and gently fold them in with the handy silicone spatula. We will fry these vegetables together for 15 minutes. The mushrooms will soon release their earthy moisture, making the entire dish smell incredibly comforting. Now we will take 3 fresh garlic cloves and carefully grate them on the fine side of our box grater. Adding garlic toward the end of frying is a smart move. If added early, it can burn and leave a bitter taste. Grating provides a smoother, sweeter flavor that blends perfectly into our cozy, creamy sauce without overpowering it. Add the freshly grated garlic directly into the skillet and mix it nicely with the handy silicone spatula. In just seconds, that wonderful, warm garlic aroma will completely fill your kitchen, making everyone incredibly hungry for dinner. Let's chop half of a red bell pepper into bright little cubes. Red peppers bring a gentle, natural sweetness that beautifully cuts through the richness of our upcoming cream sauce. They are also packed with antioxidants and vitamin C to keep your loved ones feeling great. Adding vibrant colors like this visually livens up a heavy meat dish, making it look so festive and cheerful on the plate. If you have extra pepper slices, just freeze them in a small bag to easily toss into a soup later. Send the freshly chopped red pepper straight into the warm pan and mix it very evenly using the silicone spatula. This wonderful variety of colorful vegetables gives our cozy dinner a perfect, healthy balance. Now we will carefully and lightly sprinkle all the softened vegetables with a nice pinch of pink Himalayan salt. We will also generously grind fresh black peppercorns directly over the warm pan for a lovely touch of warmth. Next, sprinkle a nice dash of dried oregano over the veggies and give everything a very thorough stir with your handy silicone spatula. The oregano adds a wonderfully comforting, earthy note. Our vegetable base is perfectly tender now, which means we are completely ready to build our rich gravy. Let's carefully sprinkle exactly 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour into the pan. Stir it in completely with the silicone spatula. Cooking the flour for just a minute removes that raw taste and is the ultimate secret to quickly thickening any simple broth into a beautiful, velvety, home-style sauce. Now pour in 1 cup of warm chicken broth and smoothly mix everything with the silicone spatula. Thanks to the flour, you will instantly notice the savory sauce begin to bubble and thicken up very pleasantly, acquiring a truly beautiful, glossy shine that looks so incredibly appetizing. Let's gently pour in half a cup of rich, heavy cream and thoroughly stir it in using the trusty silicone spatula. The fresh cream beautifully transforms our deep brown gravy into a luscious, velvety sauce that is absolute perfection. Add the brown chicken back into the pan and use tongs to distribute it evenly in the sauce. Our boiled potatoes are perfectly soft. Let's very carefully place the steaming hot chunks right into our handy potato press. Squeeze the fluffy mashed potatoes right into a large glass bowl. Using a potato press is my absolute favorite method because it guarantees a flawless, airy texture without any lumps. The potatoes turn out light as a cloud rather than sticky or gummy. This side dish will be an excellent, comforting base to soak up our rich chicken gravy. By the way, what is your signature side dish that you make for holiday dinners? I am waiting for your answers in the comments below. Lightly season the hot potato puree with a nice pinch of pink Himalayan salt. Quickly and generously grind some fresh black peppercorns over it for a lovely, warming touch. Pour in half a cup of warm milk and gently knead everything with the silicone spatula until smooth. Our completely fluffy mashed potatoes are ready. They will practically melt in your mouth. Making a warm, creamy mash always reminds me of my sweet mother. She would spend Sundays mashing potatoes by hand while the house smelled like roasting meat. It is simple, affordable side dishes like this that make a home feel so safe, welcoming, and totally full of love. Let's finally grate about 1½ ounces of Parmesan cheese. Freshly grated cheese melts so much better than the prepackaged kind because it lacks those anti-caking powders. Parmesan adds an incredible, salty depth that takes our creamy sauce to the next level. Cooking with simple, high-quality ingredients is the true secret to transforming an ordinary weeknight dinner into a beautiful, restaurant-worthy experience for your whole family. Generously sprinkle the freshly grated Parmesan directly over the bubbling chicken dish in the skillet. Gently stir it in with your silicone spatula until the cheese is completely melted and the sauce is perfectly smooth. We simmer the chicken in this amazing liquid for just 2 short minutes, so all the savory flavors wonderfully marry. Our meal is finished. On a nice wide serving plate, let's beautifully and carefully shape our fluffy mashed potatoes into a plateau. Right over the soft potato puree, we will generously spoon out our tender chicken in that rich cream sauce. Just look at this completely magnificent meal from every beautiful angle. The vibrant vegetables, golden chicken, and luxurious creamy sauce resting on a warm bed of fluffy potatoes. It is an absolute masterpiece made right at home. Wow, the chicken is incredibly tender and the rich sauce is perfect. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. See you next time.